Well, hello and welcome. We are just getting going here. Vegas Kev here, and thank you very much for stopping by. And we are back in Planet Coaster today. Do a little more work on my Worlds of Fun park recreation here with Planet Coaster, and basically what we're doing, if you're new here, we're recreating Worlds of Fun. Pretty much the way it was back in the 1970s and 80s, maybe a little bit into the 90s, a little bit, but the park opened in 1973, Kansas City, Missouri, and I worked there for a bit when I was a teenager there for a few years. And anyway, so that's what we're doing. And today we are going to do a little work on a building that was in the Scandinavian section of the park, the Arctic Arcade. That's where a lot of the pinball machines and video games of the time were in that building. So we're going to do a little work on that building, and then there was a ship that was over in the Scandinavian section called the Victrix, and it was one of these ships that had been in, I think, like 2 or 3 different movies, and they brought it in. They put it in one of these lakes over here in the Scandinavian section, and they're in Planet Coaster. They do have some stock ships, some pirate ships, stuff that you can just kind of plop them into the game, but none of them really look like what the Victrix actually looked like. So I'm actually building this darn thing piece by piece. So we'll do a little work on that, and then finally we're gonna. I've actually had the Zambezi Zinger in this park for a while now, but if you ever went to the park, if you worked there, if you're familiar with the Zambezi Zinger, one of the things about the Zinger is it was in the African section of the park, and there was just tons of trees. It was just basically in a forest as you rode this roller coaster. So I've had the ride built actually for a while, but there's just been so many trees that I've had to put in. I really didn't feel like I could have done it justice to do it, to put it in one of these videos or streams. Until now, I finally think I got enough trees around the darn thing that it's starting to look kind of like the way it's supposed to. So we'll do a little work over there on the Zinger, add a few more trees, and we'll probably even take a ride on it. How about that? Okay. All right. Very good. Let's get over here to the Scandinavian section here. Here we are. Got the Viking Voyager. That's another one. I got to put a lot of trees around that thing as well. You can tell it's still needs a bunch of trees. Right over here, this is where the Victrix is going to go. That's just what you're looking at right there. That's basically just a placeholder. That's where that ship is going to go. So we'll get to that. Anyway, here we go. Let's look at this little area right here. This right here in the center, this is the Arctic Arcade where it's going to be. So there is the spot. We've already got the outline of the building going on right there. And I do have it wasn't exactly one of the most photographed areas of the park. So it's a little tough finding pictures of it, of what the building looks like. And it's actually still there, I believe. I think they still use it for some kind of like gaming area or something like that. So I do have a couple of pictures that I was able to find that actually look fairly decent. Let's pull one of these up. Okay, there we go. Now this is obviously, I think this is, they must call it whatever that is, Scandi Skis, looks like. So, but that's the building. That's the same building that used to be the Arctic Arcade. And so at least that gives me an idea, and I kind of remember it as well, just from working at the park. At least that gives us an idea of what the actual kind of the structure looked like. So here we go. We're going to go to work on the Arctic Arcade right here. I don't need this to be this big, I don't think. We can shrink him down about like that. That looks pretty good, I believe. Oh, I forgot to do this. Let me make sure we're still on. Okay, good. Everything is looking pretty good. I do believe. All right. Hydrate. Got to stay hydrated when you're doing all this work. Okay. Let me see what we're going to do. Oh, let's look at that picture again. Hang on. As we look at this photo, let's make it big again here. Okay. One thing that you will notice, the entrances. In and out of this building, as I remember, this is how it was. You got an entrance here, entrance exit in this corner, over here in this corner. Basically, the only way to get in and out of this building was through the corners. That was it, right? And if you look at this other one, you can see that. There it is. The only way to get in was on the corner. The sides was all solid. No windows, nothing. Just this whole side. All four sides were just solid. So the only ways to get in and out were in one of the corners, basically. So that's what we're going with. We can close that. And we can shrink this one back down, I believe. Put you right over there. Okay, so we need you again. All right, now. And you can see it was not just a perfect rectangle. It did have this part that kind of was a little bit slim sticking out here, as I recall. My memory might be a little fuzzy, but as I recall, it was kind of like that. So anyway, that's what we're going with. That's what we're going to do. All right, so now what I got to think about here is we got to get these pathways going so the people can get in and out, right? Right. So that's the first thing I'm going to do here. Let's go to the path. The path maker. And I do not want a curb. I don't want a railing. Yep. We don't need any of that stuff. Let's make this a little bit bigger. For a path inside the building here. Okay. I'm thinking something real simple like this, just right in the middle. Might have to put it right here to to make it work. Yeah, right here. Okay. Boom. There we go. And now we just connect the corners. Since we have the path in the middle, there we go. We'll put a little entrance right here, I believe. That looks pretty good like that. Let's do one over here. Just like that. We'll go over here, same thing. And there we go. We've got entrances in the corners. People can walk around in the middle. All right, I think we're good. Because I want the peeps to actually be able to go into this building. In and out, just like they did in real life, so. There we go. All right. Now, you know, I think before I start building any walls, I think I'm going to let's actually put some arcade games in here. What do you think? Let's do that. I'm thinking that might be a pretty good idea. Here we go. And here they are. Okay, I don't need... Well, let's just put them in here and see what happens. I did not make these arcade games. I actually found these on the workshop. Somebody else made these, so I can't remember who it was, but thank you very much for making these. I think they look pretty decent. Oh, what the heck? Let's just put it right there. I don't need this wall because we're gonna make new walls. So let's get rid of all this stuff. Okay, then we'll just place these where we need them to go here. First thing I got to do, I don't want them to be tilted. I want them all to be straight line. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So let's do that. Hopefully this won't be too difficult. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's the trick. Good. They're at the same level. That helps. That helps immensely. Yes, indeed. Sometimes when I've mentioned this before, sometimes I get so locked in on what I'm doing and I forget to look at my chat. So if you do something in the chat room and I don't see it immediately, it's because it's hard for me to multitask. Pretty much. All right, let's move the rest of these. Good. Okay. Let's line them up. This one's he's a little out of whack compared to these dudes. Hang on. That's better. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, this one, this too. Probably all three of these over here. We're a little different. Yeah, there's always a problem child, right? All right, that's good. Oh, he's even a little too tall, too. Hang on. Gotta lower you down a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they're just bigger. He is a little tall, though. We'll lower him. Okay. Well, he's too short. All right, now I feel like I got to make these two a little closer. Over here on this end. Just a bit. Okay. Just a little bit. Oh, that's too close. Hang on. All right. I think that's not too shabby. Now, I gotta make them a little straighter. Nope. Don't want the pavement. Do it like this. Individually selected. Okay, good. All right, where's my path? Where'd my path go? Right there. So we got to move these dudes a little bit. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a little guide. A little straight edge. Make a little straight edge to help us out here. Let's use this. Yeah. Piece of wood. Okay. 3240. That's all we need. That's all we need right there. Okay, now. So I can move this around. So this will be our guide to where where these machines need to be. All right, let's move this dude. Right over here, and let's just see how far we got to move him around here. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to click the blue check mark. All right, here we go. All right, we got to move him up a little bit. I'm going to say right about there. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah. So if I put all of these machines right there, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. Now these machines are not functional. The peeps will not actually be able to play anything on them. We're basically just putting them in here just for scenery effect. So that's the whole idea. They're not going to be playable or anything like that. But at least it'll look like an arcade, right? Right. That's the idea. Okay. I think I'm going to move them a little bit more. Hang on. Right there. I think will work. Yeah. And that way they're inside all of the walls. Good. Perfect. Now, I'm going to put some on the other side. I keep forgetting to hit that check mark when I move that. When I move that wood. Okay. Now, where do we got to go? He's got to go up a little bit. That might be pretty good right there, actually. Maybe even right there. Okay, now we're going to just basically copy and paste all of these dudes. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. Are you kidding me? I got to... Oh, wow. All right. Thank you, Planet Coaster, for making this so easy. I got to go back to the blue. Wait a minute. Maybe I can just make a blueprint of these. Hey, now I'm thinking. Just make a new blueprint. New blueprint. New. Save. Thank you. Arcade games. We'll just call it a scene. Keep it simple. Good. Now it should be down here as a new blueprint. Should be. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Very nice. Gotta flip them. Excellent. That's what we're talking about right there. Okay, now we just need to select each one and we're gonna put these dudes right about there. I think that works. Let's check the path. Oh, we might have to move them a little farther out. Hang on. Gotta move them a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that. All right, we can move this stuff out of the way. And now we just got to get them to be the right height. Because they're sticking up a little bit. So now we got some arcade games to be in the arcade. How about that? This one's still a little high. Move him down a little bit. What's that look like? Oh, we might have to move him again. Yeah, move him again. I think that's pretty good. All right, do these guys. Let's do these guys over here. And same deal. We're going to have to lower him a little bit. Right? Yeah, same thing. We're going to move him in just a touch. Get him a little closer to where the people will be walking by. Yeah, better. Much better. Oh, hang on. I didn't mean to cough right in the microphone. Hang on. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to cough right in your ears there. I'm going to move this straight edge that we've been using. I'm going to just move them over here. We might need it again for something. You never know. But I'm just going to put it over here. Get it out of the way. Get it out of the way for a moment. All right, so now we got some arcade machines in the arcade. Very nice. And that's probably about as much detail as I'm going to put in the middle of this thing. Let's put in some walls. All right, now let's go back to this photo. I'm thinking we can probably just do this with. I'm thinking I can use the panel walls. I think that'll look pretty good. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, since that is an end, let's do an end first. Looks like it's this end, from what I can tell. Yep. All right. It's not going to look exactly the same, but fairly close. That's the whole idea. Just make everything as close as we can make it. Panel. Okay. The pathing, we'll work with that. Just for the heck of it, let's go to this other end. See if it'll work down here as well. Ooh, we might be in a little trouble down here. Might be in a little trouble. Oh yeah, because it's only 2 instead of 3. Well, let's just do this. Oh, I know what to do. Hang on. No, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Oh, yeah, here's where I can use this straight edge again. Perfect. Because we're going to have to move this other piece over here on the left. But we can use this straight edge to make sure they are the same. Same position. So I can just slide him down like that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right, now I got to separate this. Separate him from the floor, and now we can just move it. There we go. So he's at the same position, right? Right? See what we did there? Can use these things as straight edges. See, that's perfect. They're the same spot. Okay, good. Right, put you back over there. All right, but now, what I was mentioning earlier, we might be in a little trouble with the path on this end. See that? That ain't going to work. It's okay over here, but not over here. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to... Oops. Can't do that. Oh, are you kidding me? I got to redo this whole thing. Sometimes this game can be a little aggravating. I gotta do it. I got no other choice. Okay. Okay, now we can do this. All right, whatever. You better let me do this. Something weird is going on here. This is not connecting. Oh, I guess it is. Right, it's connected, but I don't like it. I want it to be more like that. There we go. All right, that's a little better. I think we can live with that. Or not. Hang on. Okay. I think I see what's going on here. Now let's do this. Okay. All right, good. That'll work. The things you gotta do with the paths in this game. Now, since this is all messed up, let's fix this real quick. Let's get this back to where it looks halfway good. There we go. You just got to play around with these paths. Until they do what you want them to do. Kinda. That's fine. The main thing right there, the main thing right in here is I want this tower for the sky ride obviously can't come down in the middle of a pathway. At least we don't want it to. So that's good. We got it we kept it in the grass, so that's good. I don't like that. That's better. And this one, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I think we fixed that area pretty much. Yeah, that's good. I need some air. Hang on. Get my ceiling fan going here. Get a little warm in here. Gotta ban this dude. Hang on. Spam. Okay, now I think we can start building some more walls over here, since we've got that little pathing situation handled. Right? Yeah. That's good. Peeps can get in and out. Very nice. All right, let's get back on this end over here. Okay. All right, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at the way this is going to have to be in my park is we're just going to, this is going to be that whole section. It's not exactly proportional, but it's all we can do with the way these paths have to be. So here we go. And out there on the corners, oh, did I lose it? Let me get that back. Out there on the corners, it's just going to be these columns, basically. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute, let me check one thing here. Hang on. I just might have had an idea. You know what? I could actually sink these walls to make them look a little more proportional, couldn't I? I think I could. Let's do that. Separate. Yeah, we can just sink these walls a little bit. I don't know if I like that. Don't know, because these machines are so tall. I need to get a peep over here for some scale. Hopefully a peep walks through. Let's see if we can get a peep to walk through here. Probably not. Here we go. Perfect. All right, you're close enough. Okay, so we can. Look at this picture again. Let's try this. Since we got some peeps close by now. I think we can do that. Oh, I got an even better idea. Hang on. Oh, yeah, we can do this. Right there. Right? And now we just get a 1 meter. Right there. Oh, that's going to be too low. Let's redo that. Raise him up. There it is. Oh, that still might be a little too low. Yeah, let's raise it up a little bit. Just a bit. Just a little bit. Thank you, peeps, for giving us some scale here. I think right about there. I like it. I like that scale. That looks pretty good, I think. Okay, we're going to leave that there for a moment. All right, I need these columns on the corners. What are we going to use for that? What are we going to use for these columns? Let's investigate. Let's investigate. I think all of these columns in this game are going to be way too big around, is what I'm thinking. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that might work. Except I don't like the way it gets larger at the bottom, because these are pretty much just straight up. Dang it. Yeah. It's too Roman. Yeah, too Roman. Nope. Nope. What's this? Oh, there you go. Nice, simple, round. Too big. Nope. Nope. I'll tell you what. I think this is it. For our purposes, I think this is what we're going with. Let's look at this picture again. Yeah, I I think that's going to be, as we say in the biz, close enough. Okay. Let's get this attached. I need to put another piece of wall over here first. Put him right there, just for now. $32.42. I'm doing this just so we know how high these side walls have to be. For right now. Yeah. All right, that is a Qin Dynasty pillar. I believe we can change the color. We better be able to. If we can't, it won't work. Right? You boys go there. Let's get two more. Yeah. 4 of them, one on each corner. It's what it looks like to me. It's the way I remember it as well. We're gonna have the issue of peeps walking through the middle of them though, dang it. Now that I'm looking at this, oh boy. Well, we might have to improvise a little bit with these pillars. That's okay. I really don't like the peeps walking through stuff. It just looks weird. Okay, we'll improvise. We just won't have them go all the way to the ground in the Planet Coaster version. That'll be all right. It'll still look kind of good. I hope. Okay, so let's extend this wall on this end. Panel. Yeah, so these dudes, let me move these again. I forgot to save them. Okay, now what are we gonna do? So yeah, this is just an example of the game not letting us build something exactly the way it was in real life. That's just what you got to do. But it'll look not too bad, I think. All right, I just want to move these. To about right there. And we'll just have them coming up from that point. What's that going to look like compared to the photo? They might be too tall. Yeah, they're going to be too tall. We're going to have to... There are some different ones that we can use. Some shorter ones, I believe. Yeah. We can go with the 2 meter instead of the 4. Let's just do that. There we go. Okay. Now we'll just move these. Lower these down. And let's have a look at this photo again. You know, the more I'm looking at this, I might want to use coaster supports instead of these pillars. Because these things are looking a little too thick. Let's see what a coaster support looks like. Oh yeah. I think I like that better. That's that one. It's the same. What about this one? Ooh, that might be pretty good. Go with this one. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Coaster support 3. Oh, hang on. I guess it's got to go on top. There we go. Let's do it like that. Okay. I think that looks a little bit better as far as how thick they are. Okay. And mm-hmm. I'm gonna move these down a little bit. Right there. Okay. So yeah, because we can't have them come all the way to the ground because that's where the path is. So we'll just have them start right there, and that looks like they go up about to the right height for what we need. Okay, we're good. Oh, BRB. Hang on. You're back. But the U.S. have that. Okay. Okay, we're back. We're back, by golly. Little snack. Okay. What are we doing? Yeah, we're going with that for now. Yeah. Got this little part of the wall that sticks up in the middle. I'm going to have to do that with some art shapes, I do believe. I do believe that's what we're going to have to do. Looks like it's about 1/3 of the size of the base wall here. So here we go. Let's see what we got. I think I like this one better. Yeah. I think I like that one. It's a little bit bigger than 1/3, but interesting. Interesting. Yep. triangles. Okay. I'm looking at that top part where it says Scandi Skis. I think that's about it right there. Okay. Now we just got to move these triangles to where they look like they're supposed to. All right, what do we got? The one on the left looks not too bad. The one on the right looks like he's a little too low. Okay. I could actually use my straight edge again, couldn't I? Watch this. Watch this. Yeah, let's do that. Just use it like a ruler, basically. Is that where I want it? That looks about right. Yeah, and both of those look like they are hitting that at about the right level. This one might be a little too high. Hang on. Yeah. It's all about the geometry. Thank goodness I was pretty good in geometry in school. All right, we can move you again. All right, I think that's looking not too bad for that part that sticks up. Got to move the whole thing up a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I'm calling that good. Yes, I am. I'm calling that fine. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me do that again. This one just looks like it's a little too low. Compared to the other one. I ain't gonna worry about it. Right there. I don't even care. Yeah. That's what we're going with. Right there. All right, so that's a start. That's a start on the Arctic Arcade. And I think that's enough in this stream and video for right now. Thank you, by the way, for stopping by. Vegas Kev on Twitch as we're doing these streams on Twitch, we're also making a recording, and then we're going to upload the recording up to the YouTube channel, Kev's Theme Park Productions. So if you're watching on Twitch, thanks for hanging out. Also, if you're seeing this on YouTube, again, thank you very much for stopping by, checking all this out. I think we're going to just kind of leave that right there for a minute. Arctic Arcade in the Scandinavian section of the park here. Worlds of Fun as we continue building the park basically as it was mostly back in the 70s and 80s. Park opened in 1973. So that's a pretty good start, I think, on that structure. Let's go over here. I was gonna do a little work on the Victrix, but I think we're gonna skip. We're gonna skip that one. Let's head on over here to the Zinger over here in Africa. As I mentioned earlier, I've actually had the Zambezi Zinger here. I've actually had it built for quite a while. You got to put so many trees around this thing, though. I really didn't want to do a whole lot with it as far as a stream or a video, because it just didn't look right without the trees. I finally, I think I have enough trees around this thing to do it some justice here. So let's add a few more trees. But yeah, you can see I finally have enough trees around this thing. It's starting to look halfway decent. And when the park opened back in '73, this was the big boy. This was really probably the number one attraction, I would say, especially in the first 2 or 3 years. As far as any of the rides, it was really the only custom built coaster for the park back in '73. Scream Roller came along in '76. Scream Roller was cool. It was just a different kind of a ride, though, compared to this. And this was a very popular ride. I remember the first time I went to the park, I think I was only like 12 or 13. I would not get on this thing. I said, nope. It's a little too much for me. But I think the next year I went ahead and got on it, and it was pretty cool. Okay, so let's add some trees in here. We got a few, but it's going to need even a lot more than this. But like I say, it's finally starting to look halfway decent. Let's work on this area right over here. We need to put a few trees over here, I think. And I'm a big fan of the sunken tree effect. Basically taking trees and sinking them down into the ground to make the tops of them actually look more like bushes on the ground, just to kind of give the ground a little bit more of a little more texture. I think like I did here. These are basically just the tops of trees right here. But if you sink them in the ground like that, it looks like, kind of looks a little bit more realistic, I think, as far as like underbrush and parts of the ground. Obviously, you don't want that to look like freshly mown lawn, mowed lawn, whatever, because you're supposed to be in the African jungle, right? So that's what we're going for. Let's sink a couple of trees over here. Let's get this one right here. We'll make a copy and paste, put him right there, and then we're gonna move him right over here. Put him right about there. What do you think? What do you think about that one? Just sink him in the ground. Yeah. So it just looks like some nice bushes down there. Cool. And then here's another kind of tree that I like to use for this. And I just keep, especially over here by the Zinger, I've just got all of these different kind of trees out here just so I can copy and paste them. Just move them right over. I have found that that works pretty well. Let's go right over here with this dude. Yeah. I like that. Just kind of gives the ground a little more texture. That's kind of the idea on that one. Doing it that way. All right. I like these beech. That's a beech tree. I like these beech trees, especially in the African section. They seem to be. They look more like a kind of a tree you would find in Africa. I think. I kind of like the way those look. Okay, but for right now, let's go ahead and put. Oh, let's go for a. Let's put a big ash tree down here. About right between these two parts of the track. That looks like a pretty good spot for a tree. You think? Yeah. All right, let's see. Always like to check the clearance as well. You don't want these trees to be whacking the peeps in the face when they go by. So let's have a train come through here. He's gonna come around this part first. All right, here he comes. Okay, that's fine. Plenty of clearance on that one. And here it comes on the other part. And I think we're going to be fine here as well. Oh, yeah. Excellent. So that's a good tree. That's a good tree right there. Since I've got him right there, let's see what else we can. Well, you know what? Let's move him over here. Let's put a tree right there. Since we got the train there, we can check the clearance while he's right there already. I'm gonna put in one of these birch trees. What the heck? Birch. Yeah, let's put a big one. Let's do a big birch tree right here. Not right there. I'm gonna move it. All right. And what else can we put in here? You know what? We could almost put in an oak. Yeah, we could put an oak tree in there. Small one. What the heck? See if I can get him over here. Oh yeah, I think I kind of liked it. Might be a little too close right there to the track. I'm gonna move this birch tree a little bit. All right. He's a little too far up the track for me to really check that clearance out, although it looks pretty. Ooh, that's pretty close. Better move him a little bit. Yeah. I think that's going to be pretty good right there. Let's have another train come through. We'll have another train come by. We'll check the clearance on that oak. It's getting dark. All right, this is going to be fine here, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah. Plenty of clearance there. Yep. That's good. Nobody's getting bushwhacked. But you like those trees to be real close to the track, obviously. That's kind of the thrill. That's the way the Zinger was. You felt like all these trees were so close that you were gonna get nailed. All right. These are some good trees right there. Let's put in a couple more here. Hang on. It's getting dark though. I don't like to work when it starts getting dark. But I think we still got enough light. We'll do something else here. Oh. You know what? I need some trees. Over here on this side, the right side of this, of where the right ends. I need some stuff over here. Let's do a little something over here real quick. What the heck? And every now and then I actually do use bushes. Let's do that. Let's use some actual bushes. Over here. Okay. Just to have a little something over here on that side. since it was looking pretty bare. And then also right here, I don't like it. I don't like that shade of the grass. I had to make it that shade of green because when I was shaping that land, it was looking kind of weird. So I just painted it that green. But then I always like to kind of fix that with some foliage because that just looks weird. That shade of green, I think. I wish the game would let you do it more like the regular shade of grass, but it just won't. For whatever reason. So let's put a little something over here on this side. I think I'm going to go with another sunken tree. Get one of these. Yeah, something like this. That works pretty good, I think. Oh, yeah. So that kind of obscures that weird color of the grass there. Good. Get a beech tree. There we go. I like that. Let me slide him back a little bit. Hang on. And then I can put an actual bush down here. Just to give us a little more cover. Yeah. One more. Good. Okay. BRB again. Hang on. Ooh. All right. Okay, so that's nice. We gotta have a little foliage on that side of the track. Absolutely. It's where the trains come out of that tunnel. And then there you go, back into the station. Now, one thing about Planet Coaster, you cannot have more than one loading, unloading platform. I guess in Planet Coaster 2 you can, but this is Planet Coaster 1. So I don't have Planet Coaster 2. I probably will get that at some point. But in this original Planet Coaster game, you can only have one loading, unloading platform. Now, in real life, the Zambezi Zinger, if you ever rode it or worked there, you know that there was actually there was a separate loading platform. There was also a separate unloading platform, which was basically right around this area. Can't do that in this game. So with this, basically, I had to go ahead and just make this just one station up here, where in this game this is both the loading and unloading. So I kind of had to make this station a little bit different than how it was in real life, but I think it still looks pretty close. Get the same effect of how it was. But because of that, yeah, that's why the station looks a little bit different in the game. I just couldn't make it exactly the way it really was back then. Got the main entrance though pretty close. I think it was a structure that looked kind of like that. You had the wooden poles kind of sticking out there, and the Zambezi Zinger sign right there across the front. That's pretty close to how it actually looked back in those days. Here in the Africa section, got the Zulu right over there. Now, originally, hang on. Originally, in 1973, when the park opened, this was actually a one of those car rides. It was a safari Jeep ride. I didn't put it in my version. I believe this is the Zulu. I believe the Zulu is still there. So I just went ahead and went with the Zulu, since it's still in the park. And the other reason I didn't put the safari car ride in is because over here in Europa, you can see that this is the taxi car ride, which is still there too, I believe. So I figured, since I've already got the taxi car ride, we'll just go with that. And I just decided not to put the safari in, the safari car ride. All right, so here's the deal. Let's take a ride on this thing. But it's getting kind of dark. Let's get some better light. Actually, you know what? It might be kind of cool to take a ride when it's getting kind of dark, I guess. What the heck? What time is it? It's about 4:30 park time. I'll tell you what we're going to do first, though. Let's go ahead and make this full screen, because I don't need any reference. The only reason I don't have it full screen right now is because I was using those reference photos. You gotta have it in window mode to do that. We don't need it to be in window mode now. Hang on. Let's go back to borderless, actually, is what I like. We'll just change these up here real quick. Borderless. Okay. Might as well save it too, since we're doing all this stuff. All right. Let's take a couple rides on this dude. Let's go first in... Let's go first in, what do they call this? Interest. And we'll do it from right about here. Okay, here we go. And then we'll take a ride in the front seat. Yeah. All right, let's go. Okay. Let's do one in the front seat. I want to wait till the sun comes back up though before we get in the front seat though. We'll do one in broad daylight. Speed that up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Zambezi Zinger. All right, here we go. Let's get in the front seat and take another spin. Here we go. Let's go. We need the other train. Here we go. Front seat. All right, here we go. Daylight version. Okay. Yeah, that was a good ride. I guess it still exists. It's down in South America, Colombia, I believe, is where the ride is now. Still running, still going strong down there. Anyway, so there it is, Zambezi Zinger, and like I mentioned before, I've actually had the coaster built for some time. I just didn't have enough trees around it. You got to have the trees, I think, to really get the effect of how this thing used to be. I still got a lot more trees to add, but I finally felt like I finally had it at the point where, okay, I can go ahead and put this on a stream and a video here on Twitch and YouTube. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and we're gonna wrap up this stream right here at this point. But obviously, still more work to be done, and hope you enjoyed kind of hanging out with us as we do some of this work, and plenty more to come. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, Vegas Kev here on Twitch, Kev's Theme Park Productions on YouTube, and we will see you all next time. Thank you.